Hi, I'm wanting to do a gear video today. I'm sorry about the sun. It's the sun. Everywhere I went, it was blinding me. So we're gonna have to wear sunglasses today in this video. I have already started my thru hike. I started it in 21. I will continue on. I leave out in the next few weeks. This is not all the gear that I started with, but this is the gear that I will be continuing with. And let's just get to it. Let's start with the outside of the pack. We'll start with the outside of the pack. We have the pack itself is a Z-Packs Arc Air. This is the 60 liter, I believe. I got it in this bluish color. Thought that was pretty. I'm not quite sure of the dimensions. Maybe I should have familiarized myself with it before I started doing this video, because now I sound like a dummy. But you only have, like, I say 40 some odd liters in this, and then the rest are in the pack or in the pockets. So you really have to use these stretchy pockets, and the pockets are good. I have had issues with this pack. I'm not going to say it's a 100% the greatest pack in the world, but after I had it repaired, it has been an okay pack, and I will continue on with, on my journey with this pack, unless it breaks again. I do have a Hyperlight Junction, but I am not going to use that until I need to. Okay, outside of the pack, I do have the pockets. I don't know if you can see those. I have two of them. This one's open, so probably dropped out whatever I had in it. Hopefully I didn't. I usually keep snacks in one, and then cold weather gear, or like wipes or whatever. Like right now I have my gloves. These are Black Diamond. These are the lightweight screen tap gloves, and I also have a pair of the rain mitts. So when it's actually really cold, and you're going up over mountains and it's freezing, you can wear these underneath these, and that's fine. These are the Mountain Laurel design rain mitts, I believe. You do have to seam sew them. It wasn't as hard as what you think that it's going to be. It's just, you gotta wait for them to dry and stuff. It's fine. I don't know what their price difference is compared to like the Z-Packs ones, but I bought these ones for a reason. So outside of the pack, I also have this Gossamer Gear pouch. It's the large size. I keep my cell phone in it. Unless it's raining, then I keep it in my chest underneath my rain jacket, because the water getting into the charging port is a real thing. I keep these sunglasses in this little front pouch, and then I also hook, using one of those lockable D rings, my little bandana, buff, whatever you want to call it, snot rag, sweat rag, goes on there. This side, I have my water bottle holder. This is the Justin UL on Etsy. I like this water bottle holder. It carries this size or the 700 liter. My water bottle is the Life Water bottle with the sport cap. These are my favorite. I do not like the Smart Water bottles. I think their cap is really flimsy and easy to break. And my dog's running around, so okay. Moving on to the rest of the pack. This is going to be a vlog. Okay, I also have these top side pouches. These are extra. I like them because you can actually store your trekking poles and poles in there. Plus it gives me all the gear storage on the outside. I am not a ultralight backpacker. This is just lightweight stuff. Anyways, this side normally I'm wearing these. These are my Dirty Girl Gaiters. This side I keep my visor. This is a Sunday afternoons foldable visor. This is my rain hat, or since I did start in the late summer, like I would wear this sometimes, like if I was going into town or whatever, if the sun was just bright, because I don't really like hiking in sunglasses. I also have my rain skirt, rain kilt. This is know what? I will have my lighter pack list in the description below, and I could also put a little heading on what this is. I can't remember the brand. Oh well. Anyways, it's a rain skirt that I'm about to lose. And that goes in there. I very rarely ever wear that. Maybe I will now that it's like spring, but I mean, I hiked into the fall last year, and there's like maybe one or twice that I wore it. I really hated wearing it. Outside, I do have my little trowel. I maybe used this twice the whole entire time I was out there. So I don't know if I'm gonna bring, I mean, you hate to not have it if you need it, but that's one of those kind of things. But I only used this twice out of all the miles that I hiked, and I mean, it's still pretty much brand new. I do have a mini Norwex cloth. This is the original cloth. This is great for wiping down the condensation in your tent. I don't like to do that with my buffs. They're not that absorbent because they're cheap. But this is great for that. And I also have used this as a towel. So, and it dries out the water really good. The other side, I have my pot. This is the Sea to Summit Alpha pot. It is a large pot. I love it. It's everything that I want in a pot. In that, I do have, just like everybody else does, I have the bandana with my little fuel can in there, and I also have my foldable fork. I picked that up in Hiwassee. I was using a little plastic to-go fork, and that just wasn't cutting it. I didn't like that. I do have a spoon as well. We'll get that done. We'll get to that. I do have a spoon. I'm not a sport girl. Let's see. And then this is where I keep my water filter. It's the Katadyn Be Free, the 1 liter. Love this. Love this one. Flow is super great, and I like that I have an extra liter carry. I normally have an extra liter life water bottle over here, so I can carry a max of 3 liters, and that works great for me. Also, in this side pocket, I have my stove, and it's the MSR Pocket Rocket 2. I started out with a BRS stove. Hated that thing. Yes, it's lighter. I didn't like the sputtering. I didn't work well in the cold, but I didn't like it. That one has been perfect stove. And I talked to enough people that they said, just get that one. So sometimes the cheapest is, you know, the one that everybody recommends. It's just not worth it. Anyways, but if it works for them, great. Maybe I had a dud. Let's put these back so I don't lose them here. Front pocket. I actually forgot my rain jacket today. It is just a Columbia something, just like a Columbia rain jacket. I've got it on REI, like on a clearance thing. It's not the lightest option in the world, obviously, but it's my size and it fits me. And that's one of the things that you have to kind of realize when you're a larger hiker or backpacker, is that your stuff is going to be heavier than most things. And a lot of times those cottage gear companies, which they are starting to, but a lot of the times they don't have, you know, larger sizes. Oh, in this front pocket, I have safety pins attached. You can hook your socks or whatever you want to have to get dried on there. I do have my Croc flops or Croc slides. I chose against Crocs because these are actually lighter, and I don't like the look of Crocs, and I don't like the look of these either. I started out carrying Croc flip-flops, and I love those, but I don't like, in the colder months, I like to wear my socks, you know. So as soon as it warms up a little bit, I'll have my Croc flops, or maybe a lighter pair of like maybe Old Navy flip-flops sent to me, and send these ugly suckers back. In this front pocket also, I have my tent and my ground sheet. This is the window film. You can get it off Amazon. I actually found some at the Dollar Tree that would fit my tent perfectly. but this is some kind of like duck window film that people put on their windows, like to keep drafts out. I just cut it down to size. I actually have it doubled up to just keep it thicker, which it weighs more, but it's still lightweight, and it's actually lighter than Tyvek, so that works for me. It's done great so far. My tent is the Gossamer Gear, the 2. This is not the DCF. When I did not start with this tent, I started with a Walmart $120 tent. That was a 2-person freestanding, and it weighed 5 pounds. But I love that tent, and it got me through some pretty hard times. I love that tent, and I will use it because it's like larger. It has a lot of room in it up at the top, versus this is a trekking pole tent, and it just, but this is the sil nylon, and it does have a problem with condensation and all that. So you just have to, if you're going to do that, you have to pick and choose, or you can stay in the shelters with the rats or deal with condensation. They did not have the DCF in stock whenever I needed a new tent, and also the DCF tents are outrageous, and I've already spent enough money on my gear, so that is that. That's what we're hiking with. Okay, moving on to the bottom part of the pack. On the outside of the pack is this. This is the 1/4 inch. A lot of people use the 1/8 inch, but it is the 1/4 inch. I got this from Mountain Laurel Designs, I believe, or one of them. I believe it. I don't know. It's one of them. It's the same one that Gossamer Gear has. Gossamer Gear was out of them whenever I bought when I bought my stuff last year, and they only had the 1/8 or the 1/4 inch at MLD, so I got that. Picked this up at some guy that was doing trail maintenance in Franklin. He said, "Hey, do you want an AT tag?" And I said, "Sure." And it's a 2021. I didn't hike any in 2020. Okay, but I like having the tag because then people can see that, because when this actually came in handy at Clingman's Dome, I had all kinds of people ask me if I wanted to ride, which I already had a ride scheduled, but this actually did come in handy. Okay, and that's the outside of the pack. I do have trekking poles. These are the Lecky Mahalahu light. Mahalu. I do wear a fanny pack. This is a Walmart Ozark Trail, something, outdoor products fanny pack. I love this fanny pack because when you're in towns walking around, you can just carry it like a little satchel or a pocketbook. But in this, I keep my Swiss Army knife. This is the one that has the nail clips. Great. That's pretty much the only knife that you need. I also keep my, this is supposed to be in my ditty bag. Oops. I also keep my headlamp. This is the Nightcore whatever that everyone uses, and I changed it out to this cord. Great headlamp. I've used it for early morning night hiking. I do not like night hiking at night. I do not like that. I hate it. I've done it a couple times and I hate it. I also keep my headphones in here. I do not listen to music or anything on the trail. I like to keep my ears open at all times because I was always alone, like the first part of my trail or my hike. And it was nice to listen to the woods, but you also heard all the animals and you heard just everything. And I think I would have missed out if I had my head down and not in the headphones. Excuse me, I listened to it one time and then I passed a person. I was like, this is just too much. I do have a face mask in there. I won't be carrying this since everybody's stopping with the mandates, and also I do have buffs. I could have just wore that, but I brought it for last year just in case, because you didn't know, you never knew. Let's see, inside this part, this is where I keep. This usually goes around my neck. It's my little neck knife. Sometimes I carry it, sometimes I don't. It's kind of hit or miss. It does cut cheese really good, and sausage. But in this main pocket of my pouch, I carry like wet wipes, potty wipes. I don't use that little Kula cloth. I had that. I had it for like 2 weeks. Hated that thing. I am just not just an extra thing to buy or whatever. It was. I didn't like it. I do keep my extra ponytail holders and bobby pins in this little thing, because sometimes with the ponytail holders they fall out, and it's always nice to have an extra. Or if your hair's like all falling out, you can just pin it up real quick. Normally I don't have car keys in there. I do keep my Garmin inReach in here. I took off the extra weight to it, but I'm adding more to it, having this silicone protected sleeve. But I figured if anybody, I just don't want to get mine mixed up with anybody else's, so I have it in a little sleeve. You never know. I mean, I don't normally pull it out. I used it a couple times. It's really not necessary. I keep a Sharpie so I can either sign logbooks or hiker boards. Oh, and then my ibuprofen, because I usually take 2 in the morning and 2 at night, and it's just nice to have. I usually take them while I'm on the trail because I just get up and go when I'm on the trail. And I also carry a bottle of alcohol. I do not carry hand sanitizer, the gel. I carry this, and this is the 90% alcohol. This is what I've always used for hand sanitization. It's a beauty school trick that I learned, and it works great. And then also having that spray bottle when you get into town. I do like to spray my whole entire pack off with the alcohol, and it's easy to find. It's easy to pick up as long as you're around like a Dollar General or a grocery store. So let me put this. This goes in my ditty bag. We'll just do that. Okay, this is taking a lot longer than I thought. We might split this into 2. So this is what's on the outside of my pack. Let's get to it. This is the gear that's on the inside of my pack. I do want to say I do keep a beanie on the outside of my pack if it's going to be cold weather. But that's the only thing I missed from the last one. Let's get in the pack. Okay, this pack has 3 buckles on it. You can tie it all down nice and tight. And this is actually how I pack my bag, so it's kind of good that we're doing this video like this. Okay, let's put that down. For starters, we have a food bag, goes on top. This is the Hilltop's Hilltop bags, I don't know, Hilltop packs, large food bag. I do have it with the stand-up bottom. It doesn't stand up. That's a waste. And I also put a sticker on it because everybody seems to have a green bag or a blue bag. But honestly, when I was out there, mostly everybody used a dry bag. I was one of the only ones with my fancy bag, and I was told that. Inside the food bag, I do have an op sack. This is my second one because a rat ate through the first one. Very first night I was on the trail too, so that was great. I do have my little homemade Ziploc koozie. This weighs more than what I want it to. It's probably because of all the duct tape, but I don't know. I didn't use it that much. Maybe I'll use it more in the winter. I don't know. We're undecided about this. And then I have my lunch for today. And I also keep my these in here. Yeah, he's in here. Bamboo spoon in here because he's big. He doesn't fold down or anything. He's fairly lightweight, and he was free, or he came with my little French press. So I was like, I'm taking that on the trail with me, and he's a great spoon. Okay, so there's that. Next, we have a compactor bag, not a contractor bag. Don't be like me and make the mistake. I mean, I guess you could get a contractor bag, but they're like 8,000 feet too long and really big and really loud, and so I had that right off. Made it to hostel, the Above the Clouds hostel, and I was over there talking with Lucky, and he's like, it's supposed to be a compactor bag. And I said, well, what should I do? He said, just take it out. And I said, okay. He goes, because your pack is pretty waterproof as it is. And I'm like, yeah, you're right, but I don't want to be caught up, whatever. So for the longest time, I didn't have one. And then I met some guys at the end of Georgia. Sorry, excuse me, I have to call for my dog. Poppy! And who actually gave me my trail name, and they just came from town and said they had a extra large Ziploc bag. It was like a huge Ziploc bag. Like you could like store balls and toys, I guess, in. Anyways, they gave me that, and it's a thicker plastic, and I used that, and that made it through until I made it to Irwin, and there was a box of these contractor bags, or compactor bag, and I just grabbed one, and this is what I'll probably end up with for the rest of my hike, because it's fine. It's been a good bag. Next in the gear, stop jib jabbing. This is the Granite Gear 9-liter air sack. This is my Diddy bag, everything bag, electronics bag, everything that I need. What I do like about keeping it all in this bag is that, you know how if you go to restaurants or if you go to grocery stores and they want you to leave your packs outside, this has all of my things, like my all my electronics and charging cords. So you can leave your pack outside, quickly grab this. That's why I have it kind of at the top, and go. And that way you don't have to worry about theft or anything like that. I might go through my Diddy bag. No, it's not. Let's keep on moving. For cold weather gear, I have this R1 hoodie. This is the man's version. This thing is nice and warm. I love it. That's underneath that. Underneath that, it's my clothes bag. This is the air pump sack for the Neo Air. I was using a grocery sack, like a plastic grocery bag, Walmart bag. I figured I'm going to use this in the cooler weather, so why not use the rest of it as a clothes bag? I do like having and I do have a grocery sack in there. I like having a grocery sack when I'm going to do my laundry, or if, say, hostels want to do your laundry, which I don't care for that. You can just keep it in your bag and hand it to them that way. I don't know. I liked having a bag. I do have my Neo Air Thermarest Neo Air X Lite, however you say it. You know the one, the yellow one. This is the wide, regular wide. I did not start out with this. This is a newer purchase. I started out with the Big Agnes Air Core insulated because it was lower price, but it is heavier and it's a lot bulkier. But I love that thing. It was so thick. But the first one got an air hole. I couldn't repair it. Used the second one that I had, and it was done fine. But then I got off trail, and I knew I needed a lighter thing. So this is a new purchase. I have not used this out on the trail, but I'm pretty sure I'll be fine. I also have the little Trekology pillow. This is the second one. Maybe I should break down and buy the Sea to Summit, but I said I'm not buying any more gear right now until I need it. And then the last thing in here is it's a not sleeping bag or sleeping quit. This is a compression sack. The Granite Gear, I believe it's a 13-liter. I believe it is. And it's done great. In the summer, I carried what was the brand of that? It was something I found on Amazon. It was just a down blanket. Get out, get down, get out, or something like that. I have it linked in my lighter packs. But I carried that and I just shoved it in the bottom of my pack. But this is the Enlightened Equipment 10 degree, and it's like in wide and 950 fill. So it's a big bag. Or it's a big bag. And have it. I wish I would have bought a different color, like a brighter color, but I chose the purple on the outside, black on the inside, because I didn't want to see how dirty it was getting, because that skews me out a little bit. But I do wish I would have got a brighter color on the outside. But purple is my favorite color. Bruiser is my trail name, and I kind of think it fits. Looks like a big bruise, doesn't it? Yep. So that's that. This is the one with that you have to do this. If I was going to buy this again, I would get the sewn up foot box. That's just what I would do. But I'm not going to buy it again. If I ever get a lower degree or a higher degree, yeah, like if I get a 40 or a 50 degree bag, I would get a sewn in foot box. But so far this has been great. The little get out, get down blanket, that was great until it started getting really cold. And by the Smokies, I needed something warmer. And that did me just fine. And that will do me probably for the rest of the trail. If it gets ever warmer, I'll use that, or I'll just do one leg in, one leg out. I don't know if somebody, and then also in this bag, I do keep my Enlightened equipment, Torrid, Apex, whatever, the jacket, and I mean, it doesn't need to be in there, but it just keeps it all nice, and I don't wear this like at any other time except for when I'm in camp, so, that's that, and that is all the gear. I do have this ditty bag. I guess I could go through it real quick. Ditty bag has the AT guide. I will rip out the parts that I've already done. I am keeping it in book form. I do not like loose leaf. I've tried that. Electronics, double core, whatever charger, my plugs. This other plug's supposed to go in there that I probably lost. So much gear. And this also has my hygiene. Oh, it has buff that goes on my pillow at night. Full size of KT tape. I love this stuff. This stuff works great. I have ankle problems on my right foot and had a lot of problems starting out with my hike. This stuff has become great. This is my godsend. This is my little gear aid whatever bag. It has a lot of different things. Gear ties, tenacious tape, rubber band, earplugs, extra water bottle, cap, floss, a little bit of like super glue epoxy stuff. You never know, but it's like this little time, you never know when you might actually need that, and I've needed it twice. And some extra safety pins. I'll actually probably take those out because I don't need any extra. I also have my hygiene hairbrush. There are much lighter options, but this one is dear and near to my heart, and I like it. Ankle sleeve, this foot sleeve, this helps. I don't hike in anything except for the KT tape, but this is nice to wear during the night. I don't know if I heard somebody. Maybe I did. I don't know. First aid. This is a little heavier than what I would like it to be, but I'm going to keep it a little on the heavier side when I'm starting out, and then as I realize I'm not going to have any problems with my feet, I will lighten the load. I did have a lot of problems with my feet starting out, so I am not playing that game any longer. Hygiene. My hygiene is a little bit bigger than everybody else's. I do carry a full size of the friction guard. Vaseline, zinc oxide, that's for sunscreen or chafing. Right now I am going to start carrying, I carry a little bit of the powder that helps to dry out my feet in the, I needed the powder, and I also can change that out for cornstarch. I do like that. I do carry a razor, like just a little cheapo 2-blade razor. I also carry this Norwex little washcloth. This thing is nice to have. You can just wet it and you can wash off with it, and it's really great. I do carry a magnifying mirror because I like to have my eyebrows nice and trimmed up or tweezed up. I carry a few Q-tips. That way I can do one for each ear. And then I also carry a tiny little bit of Kirk's unscented soap. And I mean, I'm talking this much, and it's 1 ounce. And it's worth it to me. It's worth it to me. If you're nasty, you can use the little washcloth and add a little bit of water and just a little dab of that soap, and perfect. Wash your face off. I mean, it's really nice. I have to have stuff like that in order to keep on going, and that's what I've learned is, you know, not everybody has to have stuff like that, but I do, and it's fine. I'm carrying it. It's fine. If I get tired of it, I can toss it. Have my battery pack. This is not the one that I will be carrying. It's the one that I did carry. I am going to be carrying the Nucor 20,000. It's lighter and more expensive. And also I have my toothpaste in here, which is just baking soda. And baking soda is great for the trail. It's a bear deterrent. I don't know if that's true. Probably not. But I do like to, I use it, you know, to brush my teeth. I also use it if I need any help cleaning my pot, if I cook in my pot, which I don't like to do. Also, you can sprinkle it, like, on your clothes if they're getting really nasty. Like, if you've been out for 7 days, you can sprinkle some on your clothes. That helps. Just all around a good product. You can also powder some up on your pits. What else do I have in here? Oh, for the winter, I have a few, I think, how many? Well, these are heavy. I have 2 things of hand warmers, so is 4 total. And I figured there's going to be probably some cold nights all the way through till April, June. Just in case, you know, just for something extra if I want. But that is all of the ditty bag, and that is everything that I'm bringing. This is what works for me. This might be overkill for you. That's fine. This is what I need to make my life comfortable on the trail. I've been on the trail for a few months, and this is what has done it so far. Other than that, I will sign off of here. And I mean, I don't think I need to do a clothes review, do I? I mean, I went through my jackets. It's pretty easy. I wear an Amazon shirt, V-neck dry fit shirt from Amazon, cheap, and Torrid, either leggings or shorts. And I'll have it in my lighter pack if you're actually interested in what clothing I wear. I do bring a little bit more clothing because I do like to have town clothes, or a cleaner set of clothes for town. So that's that. I hope that you have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you out there on the trail.